and if you don't want to cut any holes, it is pretty invisible. But in my case, the holes were already pre-cut, so everything still goes through there, and all of the I/O is plugged into this Rove Concepts dresser right here. So now we're over in the media cabinet of the living room, and this is where a lot of the tech lives, both like inside and over here. You have the Sonos 3, which is a good home speaker, and I'm able to play music on both this and the soundbar at the same time. This is also TunePlayed, and I also have the PS5 controller charging station, and of course the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 mesh system and the satellite part of the mesh setup. The main setup is over in the office, and it has a direct line Ethernet to the computer, which is why the mesh system is over here, because usually when I'm in the living room, I'm on my phone and stuff. It's good to have good connectivity, but the maximum speed priority should be over in the office where all the work's being done. So I actually have a big hole cut in the back of this thing, and there's the One Connect system for the TV, there's also the power bar, and also the Philips Hue bridge and Sonos bridge, which is all in here, and it essentially powers the entire home tech setup to allow me to fast and reliably connect and control everything from my phone. In terms of gaming console, I currently use a PS5, and because I was a PS4 user, just based on personal preference, it was natural to go over to the PS5. So yeah, this is pretty much the media cabinet part of the living room, and for now, everything is able to fit inside nicely, but I may actually do like some custom millwork or shelving sometime next year. I'm not really sure yet. So the last item in the living room is one that kind of hides underneath the console table, and it really isn't needed, but I don't regret getting it. It was on a Black Friday pricing, and it is actually a scent diffuser. So one of my favorite hotels that I've ever stayed at is the Edition Hotel in Miami. We stayed there during NASCAR about a year and a half ago, and what I really noticed is that from the lobby to the rooms, there was just like a very distinct smell to it, and I noticed on their website they actually sold the diffuser with the scent of the hotel. And it runs for about 300 hours, so a few months, give or take, maybe even longer. And you have all the customized settings on the back, depending on just how intense you want the smell to be. I have it set relatively subtle, so it comes on a few hours a day. Everyone who's come by has kind of noticed that it smells really good, so I do plan to get one for my retail store and also for my office sometime soon. So perhaps one of the biggest updates that I've made to my entire home tech setup for 2021 is in the Wi-Fi system. And this right here is the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 AX6000 mesh system from Netgear. When it comes to Wi-Fi 6, some of the devices that are currently supported that I own is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, some of the newest Android phones, and also the M1 MacBook Air. And with Wi-Fi 6, you're not only able to have a larger throughput of up to 9.6 gigabits per second compared to 3.5, and it's also much more efficient in managing the traffic when you have many of them connected to the same Wi-Fi network. This router, though, is extremely powerful, and not only does it have a large satellite and is able to cover up to 5,000 square foot with the set, but it is actually able to reach speeds of up to 6 gigabits per second. Where I live, the fastest speed available is gigabit internet, and I can tell you that even through Wi-Fi on my iPhone 12, I'm able to get impressive speeds through the wireless connection. So the way that I have my Orbi system set up right now is that I have the main router in my home office, and I also have an Ethernet cord that is connected directly to the computer for the maximum speed. And in terms of the Wi-Fi connectivity, for the most part, I am using my phone in my office, so that is why the main router is right here. There's 4 Ethernet ports on the back, which is super handy, and I have the satellite one placed on the other side of the house where the living room and all the windows are, and from there it is able to repeat the signal and give me a strong connection, and from the Wi-Fi speed test, I'm still able to maintain a really impressive speed off the satellite. It also has 4 Ethernet ports, so I have my home tech connected to that, such as the Philips Hue, the Sonos Bridge, and also the PS5, just to give it a very reliable signal, even from the satellite. So overall, this system has been perfect for my setup, and in a larger house that is significantly larger than the condo that I live in, it is still going to be able to perform very, very well. This was all super easy to set up, and you can also go to the Orbi app and customize anything that you would want, and also check the status and health of your Wi-Fi network at any time. So if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I've also got a discount for you guys. I'm going to leave a link to everything down below. So in the dining table area, one of the only changes that I've made in the past year or so is in the dining room light. Before I had one that was like a gold LED Wayfair one, and it looked pretty decent, but it had like a weird color temperature that didn't really match the rest of the place, so I ended up selling it on Facebook, saw this one on sale, and I think it has a really cool look to it. I'm sure it's not the kind of design that everyone would like, but It's 4,000 Kelvin, it has tons of bulbs, and it also just kind of stays out of the way a little bit more as opposed to the long rods that I had before. One of the biggest things that I'm really trying to work on after moving my work out of my house is to keep it clean and well maintained. Because before, there'd just be so many videos to work on, and I would say that I'd probably clean it after that wave of videos was done. But year after year, it was just always so messy. But the tool that I have to keep this place clean is the Dyson V11 Outsize Vacuum, which is their newest flagship model at the moment. The Outsize model has a 150% bigger bin than the standard V11 model. And just based on using the Dyson lineup since the V8, V10, and now the V11 and V11 Outsize, I can tell you that this is one of the best accessories that actually makes cleaning a little bit fun. It also has a runtime of about 120 minutes, which is quite a bit more than what you get on the standard model, so you don't have to recharge it right away. And the kit also comes with a spare battery, which is super nice. So yeah, usually I try to at least vacuum the place a couple times a week, and yeah, just... Because we are talking about vacuums though, this is definitely not a tech product by any means, but because I watch TikTok all day, I thought I'd share like one of the few things that I've learned from it, and that is this tool right here. So this rug that I have is from West Elm, and I have it here and also in the office because I'm boring and just bought the same rug twice. The one thing though is that these rugs shed like crazy. It makes a huge mess all over the place, it pills, it like leaves like these lint balls, which is super annoying. So this tool right here is one on Amazon that is like under $10. It is just like a, I don't know, like a set of coils, but I just like go ahead and scrape the rug and it will bring all of the lint into a nice little pile for you to vacuum up. And for the next like week or two, you'll notice that the rug just like causes much less mess. So I think it's a really good maintenance tool, and I thought I would just share that as well. Ah! Ah! So now that we're in the kitchen, I've got to be totally honest with you guys, and it's the fact that I don't really cook at all. I actually tried for a little bit last year when everything was closed down and I didn't really have as much work to do, but it's just something that I'm not good at, and if I spend hours making a meal or like buying all these supplies, I end up messing it up and it just makes the meal not that worth it. So I've chosen to spend that time on work itself and instead getting the food figured out, whether it's skip the dishes or just going to my parents' house for dinner each night. This right here is a dishwasher. It is the Samsung one from the Chef Collection, and after it is done washing, it actually opens by itself by about 5 inches. So I throw the dishes in there, I forget about it. Once it's done, it will let all the steam out for it to dry a little bit better, and I thought that was just like a cool feature to have in a dishwasher. But I don't know, like for any other guy out there who's living by themselves, I just find like cooking for one person to be very difficult, and when you break down the cost per meal after having to buy all the bits and pieces and tools that aren't in the kitchen already, it ends up just costing more than doing something like a meal plan. So some of my favorite accessories that I have in the kitchen are actually on the coffee side of things. And I know there's a lot of options out there, and sometimes you just want like a simple coffee maker that is probably lower in price, but there are also some higher end accessories that can really make the experience fun each morning for your routine. So these are products that I actually really enjoy, and I've had this kettle for quite a while, and this grinder just showed up. But yeah, this kettle is super easy to use. It not only looks great, it is the Stag EKG, and a lot of my friends had it, which is when I saw it and decided to get one for myself. And you actually just go ahead and plug it in. There's a dial right here that allows you to set the temperature down to the specifics, and there's also a hold button on the back that retains the temperature for a period of time. So whenever you're doing pour over coffee, this makes things very easy, and for a kettle, it not only has like this nice classic look to it and the matte black that goes very well with this space in the office, but it also has the tech side of things to go with that. And the newest product in their lineup is the Fellow Ode grinder, and I actually saw their Kickstarter video about a year ago and just had my eye on it, and I just thought it was so cool. It just looks very different. It's super well built and fully out of metal, but most importantly, it is a really good coffee grinder because you have all the specific settings. It has 64 settings in total, and it lets you know like kind of the range of what you would like to set the grind size to. So yeah, you just put your coffee through the top, you set your weight, and you can set your grind settings, press the button in the front, and just empty out the extra pieces in there. But Overall, it is just a very precise and high-end coffee grinder. If you make coffee every day, then this is definitely something that you should check out. If you guys have any like bean suggestions, make sure you let me know, but I'm definitely someone who has to drink coffee every single day, and I feel like checking out some of the tech accessories like this that not only look really, really cool in the kitchen, just makes it a lot more fun. This is not sponsored at all. I just really like these products a lot. So now that we're in the hallway, we're gonna take a look at the thermostat, and this is the new one from Nest. And for the most part, honestly, I haven't really noticed that big of a difference in terms of functionality, but it does look a little bit different. It has a bit more of a futuristic, holographic look on the screen with a reflective finish. And it also uses the Google Home app and doesn't work with the Nest app anymore because Google owns Nest, which is kind of unfortunate because I have quite a few other Nest accessories. So because I don't use the Google Home app very often, I sort of have to jump in between them, but I guess it's no big deal. But with a thermostat like this, you can just schedule them. It will try to optimize for cost savings in the power bill. It also knows when you're home and away and can set schedules based on that. It comes in 4 different colors, but obviously because my walls are like the whitest white, I went with the snow one, and it just seems to blend in very nicely. All the controls are actually on the side, so it is no longer a touch screen or an active dial, but to be